boy Dantes, and we back with another NFL weekly predictions live stream. This is week 16 of the NFL weekly predictions. I've done this every single week. I have not missed a single week, guys. Yeah, man, we've been doing pretty good with the predictions, guys. My record, I got like over 100 wins. I don't think I have gotten 100 losses yet, for my predictions. So I think I've been doing pretty damn good. As far as my predictions, we're doing very good with the predictions, guys. We're back for another week. Steven is having some problems with his Wi-Fi, so I'm not sure if he's gonna join us or not this week. If he does decide to join us, he will. Um, he will pop up in here. Um, yeah, man. But until then, I'm just gonna the show got to go on, man. But yeah, man. I mean, this isn't. I've did this solo. I've done this solo. But yeah, man. Hopefully Steven does join us. If not, then we'll just do it solo because we can do it. You know. But yeah, man. We got some big games this week. The NFL season is coming to a close very soon, guys. So we only got 3 more weeks of regular season action before we got the playoffs coming, and that's gonna be very exciting. I probably might do a stream where I do my playoff predictions for each round. So I would do like a divisional round stream. I would do like a wild card stream to tell you who would win that. I would do a NFC Championship round version, and then of course the Super Bowl itself. So yeah, we'll probably do that for the playoffs. I also might guess what type of teams. Um, bro, bro. We'll also have to try and guess what like teams are gonna make the playoffs. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Don't do not say anything racist, guys. You will be timed out. Thank you very much. Um, Oklahoma versus Kansas. Who's winning? I didn't. I'm not doing college football. I'm doing NFL. Uh, Yeah, but I mean, we could do college football some other time. But I mean, yeah, this is the NFL predictions, guys. What's up, everybody? What's up? So yeah, we're back for another week of the weekly predictions chat. So yeah, man, I'm gonna give you guys my take on who's gonna win in week 16. And yeah, man, hopefully everything goes well. Hope you guys are having a great. I think today's Wednesday. What's today? Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. So yeah, hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. So yeah, man, we're gonna get right into this. We're not gonna waste no time. So tomorrow, we got our first big rivalry. We have the NFC West showdown between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. Now, both of these teams they did win last week. Big games for both of these teams from last week. The Rams starting off with the Rams. Last week, the Rams went up against the Detroit Lions, and the Rams they beat the Lions 41-34. Um, that Rams offense looked amazing. Stafford, he did his thing in that game. Devontae Adams also did his thing in that game. Puka Nakua, they did their thing. Of course, the Rams defense did their thing, like Jared Verse and that boy McCullough, like they did their thing, man. So the Rams, they absolutely, shocked a lot of people because a lot of people thought the Lions were going to win that game against the Rams, but we clearly see that the Lions just cannot, hang with the big boys like the Rams. So, yeah, that's how the Rams were able to win on Sunday because they had amazing defense. Offense was clicking. Detroit just couldn't find no answers. And that's how the Rams ended up with the win. Then on the Seahawks side, the Seahawks was in a tough battle with the Indianapolis Colts last week. The Seahawks did take the win 18-16 over the Indianapolis Colts. Very big game from both teams in that game. The Seahawks could barely score in the first half of the game, but then they stepped it up in the second half. The Colts, they were finding a lot of rhythm in the first half, but then they weren't as efficient in the second half. Both teams weren't as efficient in the second half. It was just insane. Both teams um basically, went and made some big time field goals near the end of the game. Um it came down to the wire in Seattle last week when the Seahawks played the Rams. So it was a very big game for both of those teams. So the Seahawks ended up with the win. I think I did have the Seahawks winning against the Colts. If not, then yeah, I think I did. Hold up, let me check my little sheet. Um, I'm trying to check my sheet and see if I did. I don't see it. I did. Yep, I had the Seahawks winning. So I did have the Seahawks winning last week, against the Colts. So I did get that prediction right. So this game is going to be a big time game. This is gonna really decide on whose defense can really show up the most. Will the Rams defense do what they did against the Lions? Will Jared Verse have another elite game? Same with McCullough. Will Stafford air that ball out? You know, Seattle. They got a good defense as well. Their offense has been clicking as well with JSN, that boy Kenny Walker, and Sam Darnold, of course. So will their offense be clicking? You just got to wait and see. But for this game, anything can happen in a rivalry game. I've been saying that anything can happen in a rivalry game. But in my honest opinion, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. I think the Seattle Seahawks can win this game over the Rams. I think they can shut down Matthew Stafford and his Rams offense, because I feel like the defense that the Seahawks got is very, very good. Now, don't get me wrong. The Rams got a good defense too. Don't get me wrong about that. They got a good defense too, but the Seahawks defense is a little bit better than what the Rams got. But I feel like this is going to be a very close game. This could come down to the wire since this is a rivalry game and these are two top teams in the NFC West. But I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. Got to go with the Seahawks. The Seahawks have been looking very, very elite, and I think they're going to win this game. If not, well, it's just going to be very, very bad. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks to beat the gonna go with the Seahawks to beat the Los Angeles Rams. If they don't win, then that's just gonna be bad. So I really hope the Seahawks can get the win tomorrow against the Rams, but we'll see what happens. All right, moving on. We have a Saturday game. We got my Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington Commanders. Okay, so we have an NFC East showdown between the Eagles and the Commanders. Now, starting off with my Eagles. Last week we went up against the Las Vegas Raiders, and y'all see we absolutely put belt to ass on the Raiders. We beat them 31-0. The Raiders did not score a single point in that game. Kenny Pickett, you literally played one of the worst games of your life, man. I mean, your homecoming back to Philly was definitely not a warm coming because yeah, you did not play great in that game. Max Crosby said before the game that they came to Philly and they said they were going to shut shit up. Max Crosby, I do have to remind you that your team was 2-11, and you were going up against an Eagles team that just lost 3 games in a row, which we were desperate for our win in this game. So we needed to win that game against the Rams, or we were going to have some serious conversations about my Eagles. But I am so glad we did not lose to the Raiders. We were supposed to beat the Raiders, okay? The Raiders are not a good team. They're out of the playoffs. They're not going to the playoffs. They're trying to compete for a draft pick. And yeah, man, the Raiders are not a good team, and we proved that on Sunday. It was very, very cold in Philly. There was snow going on. It was snowing. So yeah, it was a very cold game in Philadelphia, and the Raiders, I guess they couldn't handle that because I don't think it snows in Vegas. So Sorry, Raiders. But yeah, the Eagles, they handled business at home against the Raiders, which they should have, you know. If we would have lost this game, we would have had some serious conversations. So I'm glad my Eagles got the job done. And then the Washington Commanders. Last week, the Commanders went up against another NFC East rival. They went up against the Giants, and they got the win. They got the win against the Giants. The Giants are the worst team in the NFC East. The Giants are eliminated from postseason contention. They are not going to the playoffs. They are competing for a draft pick. The Giants just are terrible, and also the Commanders. They are also eliminated from postseason contention, which means they are not going to the playoffs this year. Last year, we seen the Commanders in the playoffs, but they had a healthy Jaden Daniels, and of course, they had all their players. So this year, they did not have none of that. They didn't have Jaden Daniels for a lot of weeks. They also did not have Marshawn Lattimore out there. Zach Ertz went down with a nasty injury. And Marcus Mariota, he's just not a good quarterback. He's not a good quarterback for this Commanders team. We clearly saw the Commanders fall apart in that Broncos game. Well, not the Broncos game, in the Vikings game. They really fell apart in the Minnesota Vikings game. I reacted to that game live on stream. If you guys want to go see that reaction, go check it out because the Commanders, them boys are not legit. They're not legit, bro. They were one season wonders. And I'm going to keep saying that. They were one season wonders. They had one lucky year. Okay, Jaden Daniels is not a good QB. Just saying. Just saying because like one season wonder got the Commanders all the way to the NFC chip. And then this year they're not even going to the playoffs. So, yeah. But this game's going to be hectic. I mean, this game is in Washington. The Commanders, we have not seen the Commanders yet this year. So this is going to be a fun game, hopefully. I am not confident in this Commanders team at all. I'm not confident in this team. The Commanders are just the worst fucking team in the NFC East. Second worst to the Giants because the Giants are the first worst, and then the Commanders are definitely in the second spot. So yeah. But in this game, I'm going to go with my Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. I think my Eagles can win this. Now, if my Eagles do win this game, we will take the NFC East division title. All right, we will take the NFC East division title. Debo is garbage. Yeah, yeah, he's garbage. I agree. I agree with you. He's definitely garbage. But yeah, I'm gonna go with my Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. We should not lose this game to the Commanders. The Commanders are 4-10. If we lose to the Commanders, that's a problem. But I mean, it is a rivalry game. But there's just no way I see my Eagles losing to this trash poverty team. That's not even going to the playoffs. And also, um, and Jaden Daniels, I think they're playing Marcus Mariota. So yeah, that's why I say that my Eagles are going to win this game. I don't see my Eagles losing to the Bumby Commanders. And if we do lose, we're going to have some problems. We're going to have some serious problems, chat. So I really hope we don't lose, but if we do end up losing to the Commanders, that's a problem. So, good luck to my Eagles on Saturday. We got to win this game. This is a big game. We win this game, we take the division, dog. So, plain and simple. Just win on Saturday so we can take the division. You dig? All right. Moving on, we have an NFC North showdown once again. We got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears. Woo! Okay. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a good game. The Packers. Last week, the Packers went up against one of the top teams in the AFC West, the Denver Broncos, and they lost. The Green Bay Packers lost to the Broncos, but they were in Mile High. I wasn't even surprised that the Packers lost. Okay, chat. I wasn't surprised. I knew the Packers were gonna lose. All right, the Packers. I mean, the Packers are a good team. Don't get me wrong, but they were going up against a very, very good Denver Broncos team, and that Broncos team is nothing to take lightly, man. You know, when a team goes to Mile High, they somehow don't play like their best when they go to Mile High. They don't play the best because the altitude, the air, like they can't hardly breathe. So that's probably a factor to why the Packers did not win this game against the Broncos because of all those factors that happened for them to lose this game. That's why I did say the Broncos were going to win that game against the Packers. I kind of figured it was going to happen. Only the only people that thought they were going to have this game was probably Green Bay fans. But you should have probably knew that the Broncos, they were at home and they got a very very decent team that could probably go to the Super Bowl, to be honest. Now that the AFC is well wide open because Kansas City's not going to be participating in the playoffs this year. So, yeah, AFC is definitely wide open this year. So, Green Bay, don't be too surprised that you guys did not beat the Broncos. It's because you guys were in Mile High City and the altitude was just too bad for y'all. So, don't be surprised. And then the Chicago Bears. Last week, the Bears went up against the shitty Cleveland Browns, and they absolutely dominated them, which they should have done. Because if they did not beat the Browns, we were gonna have some serious conversations about this Chicago Bears team. I mean, the Bears is a very good team. They are really showing up in games. They are winning a lot of games. Caleb Williams has been amazing. Like he's been actually playing very good, and also of that boy DeAndre Swift, he's been playing good. Um, the number 25 dude's been playing elite. Like the Bears, yeah, them boys legit. Them boys legit. The Bears is legit. This game is gonna be hectic. Do 20 push-ups now. No, I'm good. I'm not doing that for you. Um, anyways, this is gonna be a good game. The Bears are at home at Soldier Field, and they are playing the Packers. Last time these two teams faced off, the Green Bay Packers won against the Chicago Bears. I did have the Bears winning that game. But I mean they let me down. They let me down in that game. But after the way the Bears handled themselves against the Cleveland Browns. I know the Cleveland Browns are a very bad team, but I really liked how Chicago handled themselves. They really played amazing in that game. And with that, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears to win against the Green Bay Packers this week. One reason why is because the Bears got a very good offense. And if they keep it up, they're gonna really go somewhere this year. They can really go somewhere this year. So I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears can definitely win this game. They can get their revenge on the what's it called, the Green Bay Packers, and if they don't get their revenge, then that's a problem because there's no way you get swept by the Packers. So I'm really hoping Green Bay. I mean, I'm really hoping that Chicago can get their revenge, especially because they're at home. And yeah, I'm just hoping that the Bears can get the win. So give me the Bears to win on Saturday Night Football. So it's gonna be all right. Moving on, we got the Los Angeles Chargers taking on my ops, the biggest ops in the league, man. These guys are the worst ops in the league, the Dallas Cowgirls. Okay. All right. So, starting off with the Chargers. Last week, the Chargers took on the Kansas City Chiefs, one of their rivals in the AFC West, and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat them 16-13. I ain't gonna lie, Chargers. Y'all boys took down the Chiefs. Man, like taking down the Chiefs probably was not easy. Probably was not easy for the Chargers to do. But the Chargers did it, and guess what? Now the Chiefs are eliminated. Not only they cannot win the division, but now the Kansas City Chiefs are eliminated from postseason contention. So that means they are not going to the playoffs for the first time since 2014. That's actually insane. not seeing Kansas City in the playoffs is gonna be something, bro. Because like a lot of people actually wanted this to happen. A lot of people wanted Kansas City to not go to the playoffs, and thank goodness our wish came true. You know, our wish came true to see that Kansas City will not be going to the playoffs this year. So, Kansas City, you guys will be going to the couch, man. You guys will be sitting on that couch. So, yeah, man. Chiefs fans, yeah, y'all kind of had this coming, bro. Y'all had this coming. I told y'all, Chiefs fans, y'all run wasn't gonna last long, man. I just knew this was gonna happen to Chiefs fans, bro. I just didn't know when, but I'm glad it happened now. So, Chiefs fans, enjoy the couch. Also, there was a big injury in that game. Patrick Mahomes did tear his ACL. Prayers up to him. I don't laugh at injuries. You should not be laughing at somebody getting injured, guys. That's very messed up. I don't like the Chiefs, but I just don't like seeing people get injured like that. So prayers up to Mahomes. Hopefully everything goes well. The surgeries and all that goes well for you. Um, he probably will not play the remainder of this season, and it's probably going to affect him playing next season too, because torn ACLs are very, very serious injuries. It can affect you playing into next year, so he might not play all of next year either, if depending on how bad it is. So yeah, he's definitely not playing the rest of this year. He's definitely not playing the rest of this year. But this also can affect his game. His also it can affect him playing for next year, depending on the severity. So hopefully that's not the case. But if it is the case, then he probably might not play next year either. So don't be surprised if you do not see Mahomes suit up for next year either, because Jason Tatum, he tore his ACL in the playoffs of the NBA Finals. I mean, not the finals, the playoffs this year, and he is not playing the rest of this season. He's not playing this entire NBA season right now because of that torn ACL. So don't be surprised if Mahomes cannot play starting next year. So with that, the Chargers are taking on the Dallas Cowboys. They are going to Dallas for this game, and the Cowboys, their last matchup, they actually lost to the Minnesota Vikings. They lost to J.J. McCarthy. They lost to a 5-8 team that's out of playoffs contention now at this point, because the Vikings are eliminated from the playoffs after their win against after the Bears win. So the Vikings are eliminated from playoffs contention. So the Vikings will not be in this year's playoffs, which I was a surprise with, anyways. You know, the Vikings are a very mid team, but I'm glad they got the job done against the Dallas Cowboys, which, shortens their chance to go to the playoffs as well. Now, Dallas has a 1% chance of going to the playoffs, which is very, very good to hear, especially because I'm an Eagles fan and I hate Dallas with a passion. I don't like the Cowboys. Okay. I don't want to see the Cowboys in the playoffs. I don't want to see them in the Super Bowl or NFC Championship. No, no, none of that. Cowboys will always stay on that couch, bruh, no matter what. They're not going to the Super Bowl. They're not going to the NFC Chip. And they're definitely not going to the playoffs this year. And they're definitely not winning the NFC East this year either. So, yeah, Cowboys, y'all found another way to embarrass yourself for the second straight week. Y'all lost to the Lions the prior week, and now this week you lose to the Minnesota Vikings. How do you feel, Dallas? Like, actually, how do y'all feel, Dallas? Are y'all okay? Because I know you guys are still bawling your eyes out. Y'all probably still got tissues for days, knowing that the Cowboys might not play in the playoffs this year. I'm not even surprised. I told you Dallas ain't making the playoffs, guys. I've been told y'all that. Dallas is horrible. Their defense is the worst defense in the league, okay? They got a good offense, but their defense is just fucking horrible. Atrocious ass defense. They can't play defense for shit. Okay, and this is why they're losing games. Okay, and also because they have a terrible defensive coordinator named Matt Eberflus. But I don't give two hoots about who their defensive coordinator is. Seeing Dallas lose to the Vikings actually made my Sunday a whole lot better, and it made my week a whole lot better because I didn't have to hear a single Dallas fan, and I still ain't hearing a single Dallas fan. I think they still quiet. Dallas ducks and hides when they fucking lose. when it comes to my birds, I don't duck and hide. I just steady talk shit, bro. But when it comes to Dallas, they love to duck and hide, bro. Cause I can't seem to find not a single Dallas fan talk shit. So you cowgirl fans are sure doing a lot of hiding. Like where y'all at? Y'all not found? Where you at, Dallas? Huh? Stop hiding. Come on. Come on, stop hiding, Dallas. What y'all running scared now? But anyways, this game is gonna be in Dallas. Dallas is horrible at home. Usually, when people come to their stadium, they have a very horrible fucking home record this year, and I think it's gonna continue because I got the Los Angeles Chargers taking down the Dallas Cowboys in this game. I want the Cowboys to lose out, dog, so they don't have no chance to win the division. So I am hoping that the Chargers can absolutely destroy the Dallas Cowboys, and I think that's gonna happen because Justin Herbert is gonna do his thing against this fucking shitty ass team, against this shitty defense. He's gonna feast. He Justin Herbert feasts on bad defenses like the Cowboys, and I think that's what he's gonna do. As long as he can find Keenan Allen, okay, and the rest of the Chargers defense steps up, I feel like the Chargers can win this game. So I'm gonna go with the LA Chargers to beat the Dallas Cowboys in this game. I don't see Dallas winning any more games this year, but we'll see what happens. But I think the Chargers have a great chance at beating the Cowboys on Sunday. So give me the Chargers to win on Sunday. And Dallas, you're not getting the division, gang. You'll just give it up. Give it up, Dallas. All right, moving on. Oh, oh boy. All right, we got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on a team that just lost on Monday night, the Miami Dolphins. All right, so starting off with the Bengals. The Bengals last week, y'all boys played the Baltimore Ravens at home, and y'all boys absolutely get smoked 24-0 by the Ravens. Bengals, y'all have had a horrible season, okay? And it's continuing to get even more horrible because you let the Ravens come in y'all home stadium and absolutely dominate y'all like that. Like, how do you even let that happen? 24-0 Bengals? You couldn't get not a single point on the Ravens? The hell is up with y'all, man? Didn't y'all beat the Ravens in Baltimore? So you go to Baltimore and beat the Ravens, but you can't beat them at home? That's a problem. That's a huge problem, Bengals. You know, kind of sad that the Bengals let the Ravens do that to them. The Ravens just came in there and handled business against the Bengals, and yeah, Bengals. I don't know what the fuck with y'all wrong. I don't know what y'all were doing, but you know, can't really be surprised. The Bengals, they just be struggling, dog. Like I don't know what's up with the Bengals, man. They have Joe Burrow back. I don't see what the problem is. How is your day going so far? It's going good. How's your day going? It's going good for me, man. But yeah, I don't know what's up with the Bengals. They got Joe Burrow back. I thought having Joe Burrow back would help this team out just a little bit because I mean they had Joe Flacco the last few weeks and we seen how that went. But dude, Joe Burrow, what is going on? What's going on here, Joe Burrow? Anyways, they're taking on the Miami Dolphins and oh my god, the Miami Dolphins. That performance on Monday against the Steelers was absolutely horrible. Horrible performance from the Miami Dolphins. You guys are the worst like team I've ever seen play football. Like Dolphins. Like you are just I don't understand what's up with these like team like the Dolphins, dude. The Dolphins, dog, like they really just I don't know. The Dolphins, man, I knew they weren't a good team, but playing that damn bad in Pittsburgh, bro, that's just yeah, Miami. Don't ever give Miami another primetime game until they start to win more games, dog. Because like that was the worst performance I've seen from Miami on primetime, and we all reacted to that game live, guys. And we seen how bad Miami was on Monday. That was just horrible. The Steelers absolutely dominated the Dolphins. Steven was hyped about that game. Steven was hella hyped. I fell asleep on the game, so I didn't get to see the rest of the damn game, guys. But I heard that the Steelers did win, which I mean they were already winning before I fell asleep, so I kind of figured they were gonna win the game to end it off because the Dolphins are just a horrible fucking team. So yeah, with this game is in Miami. I heard they're benching Tua Tagovailoa. I don't know what the fuck they're doing that for. So with that, bro, I'm gonna have to go with the Cincinnati Bengals to beat the Miami Dolphins because the Dolphins are just a horrible team, and I do not trust them anymore in any picks. So I'm not picking the Dolphins no more this season. So yeah, give me the Cincinnati Bengals to beat the Dolphins because the Dolphins are just horrible. So Bengals, yeah, if y'all don't win against the Dolphins, Bengals, that's gonna be sad. If y'all don't beat the Dolphins, bro, like that's actually gonna be crazy. Like I'll actually be shocked if the Bengals do not end up beating the Dolphins. I'll actually be shocked. You had to go to the hospital. What for? Let me know. But yeah, if you guys do not beat the Dolphins, Bengals, we're gonna have some serious talks, man. Because there's no way you should be losing to a team like the Dolphins, especially because they just got their ass whooped by the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday. So I mean Monday, sorry. So we'll see what happens, chat. All right, moving on. Oh, oh boy. Oh, this game's about to be horrible. We got the New York Jets taking on the New Orleans Saints. Oh my! Oh, this game's about to be horrible. This is about to be nah, 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 nah. This is about to be the worst game on the TV screen. I don't think anybody's gonna watch this game except for Saints fans and Jets fans because these are the two worst teams in the NFL that I've ever seen in my life. Like, bro, these teams suck so badly. This is the trash bowl right here. Oh my god, this is about to be a horrible ass game. Jets and the Saints. This is about to be horrible. It's about to be a horrible ass game, chat. Anyways, I don't know who to pick now, bro. Now, last week, starting off with the Jets did get their ass whooped by the Jacksonville Jaguars, 48-20. Not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. The Jets are just a horrible team. Aaron Glenn is going to lose his job by the end of this year. Maybe Aaron Glenn might lose his job, but bro, the Jets, like, how are y'all so bad? Like, you guys are horrible. Like, I've never seen a team play so fucking bad like the New York Jets, dog. Like, y'all already lost Sauce Gardner to the Colts. Justin Fields deserves better. Anybody who's a Jets fan, let me know in the chat. If you guys are Jets fans, let me know in the chat because I don't know how anybody can be a Jets fan right now because that team is just absolutely horrible. Like they play so fucking bad, bro. Like it's not even funny at this point. It's actually sad. It's actually sad, bro. I actually kind of feel bad for you Jet fans because that team's just atrocious. They've just been losing and losing and losing and losing. Like, dude, just horrible. Just horrible from the Jets, dog. Horrible. Aaron Glenn, you're gonna lose your job, man. Just horrible coaching from that guy. And then the New Orleans Saints, that team's horrible too. But the Saints did win last week against the Carolina Panthers, which is very surprising because I did not think the Saints would win. So, congrats, Saints. You won another game, but you guys are still eliminated from the postseason. You guys are not going to the postseason, which I wasn't surprised with that either because the Saints are not a good team. They're fucking horrible. Ever since Drew Brees bounced out of there and all of them, yeah, ever since Drew Brees and that boy, what was that other quarterback? Drew Brees. I don't even know. I don't even care though. Drew Brees and somebody else left. The Saints just been a horrible goddamn team. And like, yeah. Oh, Derek Carr. Derek Carr. Ever since Derek Carr and Drew Brees left that team, the Saints just been a fucking horrible team. Like I said, you guys are the Aints. Y'all ain't shit. Okay, you ain't nothing, Saints. Okay, so I can stop saying who they all the time. because y'all ain't nothing. Well, not who they. That's the Bengals. Y'all be saying who that? Yeah, who are y'all? Who are y'all? Nobody's to me. Anyways, this game's about to be horrible. You know, the Jets are horrible. The Saints are horrible. So, both of these teams are ass, but nobody's more ass than the New York Jets. So, for the first time this season, I'm going to actually go with the New Orleans Saints to win. Even though the Saints are fucking horrible, they're not as horrible as the Jets, bro. At least the Saints can, win this game. This is a very winnable game for the Saints, and I feel like the Saints can win this game. The Jets are just a horrible team, and I don't see the Jets winning. I just don't see the Jets winning. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the New Orleans Saints. I'm gonna go with the Saints here. Uh, the Saints are just horrible, but they're not as horrible as the New York Jets. So I'm gonna go with the Saints. I think the Saints can win. Steelers are the best. All righty. All right. Bold statement right there, buddy. But yeah, I think the Saints are gonna beat the Jets. This game's gonna be absolutely horrible because the Jets and Saints are the two worst teams in the league. And they're both eliminated from the playoffs. So yeah, this is about to be the trash bowl. Hello, man. I'm Ken Kniff from Connecticut. What's up, man? How you doing? But yeah, this game's about to be horrible. The Jets and Saints are absolutely horrible. So yeah, they're bad, but I think the Saints have more of an advantage here. All right, moving on. This game right here, another game that I'm not gonna really take too much time on. We got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Cleveland Browns. Now, starting off with the Buffalo Bills, Jay Z or Kendrick? Man, Jay Z all the way, dog. For the Bills, the Bills they got a win yesterday. Well, not yesterday, but Sunday. The Bills won against the Patriots, 35-31. All right, 35-31. Now, Buffalo, I'm glad you guys beat the Patriots. You were supposed to win against the Patriots. But I mean, the Patriots are a good team too, so it could have gone either way. But if the Patriots were ass, Buffalo would have won that easily. But Patriots are not ass, so it could have gone either way. It depends on who played better. And the Buffalo Bills played better. So that's how they won that game. So, Buffalo, y'all did y'all thing, man. And yeah, man, good win. And then the Cleveland Browns, y'all boys lost to the Chicago Bears on Sunday in the freezing cold weather. Browns, y'all just suck, man. Y'all just a horrible team, Browns. You guys are competing for a draft pick. You guys wasted Shadur Sanders. Like, bro, seriously, like how the fuck did they waste Shadur Sanders' talent, man? Like Shadur Sanders, he deserves better, dog. I kind of low key feel bad for Shadur. But yeah, man, this game is a no brainer for me. I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills to win this game. I see the Bills smoking the Cleveland Browns. This game's gonna be a blowout. I don't see the Browns winning this game at all. Um, in no universe do I see the Cleveland Browns winning this game. So I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills. This is gonna be a blowout. This is gonna be a blowout of a game. The Browns are gonna get their ass kicked again. So, yeah, Buffalo's gonna blow them motherfuckers out. So, give me the Buffalo Bills to smoke the Cleveland Browns. This is just not gonna be close at all. It's not gonna be close. If it's a close game, we're gonna have some problems, Buffalo. If this is a close game, we're gonna have some problems. We're gonna have some fraud talks if you guys do not blow these guys out by 40. You better drop a 40 ball or a 50 ball because the Browns are horrible. So if you guys don't drop a 40 ball or a 50 ball, not valid enough. We're gonna have a talk. We're gonna have a talk for sure. If you guys do not blow these motherfuckers out. So Buffalo, if you don't blow them out, gonna have a talk. Moving on. This game right here is you know, both of these teams are also horrible. We got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the New York Giants, aka the New York Midgets of New York, aka my ops. So, starting off with the Vikings. Last week, the Vikings went up against the Dallas Cowboys. And y'all see, man, the Vikings, they absolutely went to Dallas, handled business, and took down the Dallas Cowboys. Thank you, Vikings, for taking down the Dallas Cowgirls because them motherfuckers were just talking shit for weeks. And I just wanted them to be on hush mode, man. And the Vikings absolutely beat the Cowboys. And yeah, I'm just glad that they got the win. Thank you, Vikings, for doing that. Even though you guys aren't going to the playoffs, I still appreciate y'all for taking down the Cowboys. Thank you. Moving on, and then who are you? Who are you? The Giants. The Giants actually played the Washington Commanders on Sunday, and they lost. They lost to the Washington Commanders. Um, yeah, Giants. Giants, I told you guys y'all weren't a good team. I told you guys were going to be fourth in the NFC East, which I wasn't surprised with. I wasn't surprised that the Giants were going to be fourth in the NFC East. I've been said that, man. I've been said they were going to be fourth in the NFC East for weeks now, and I'm going to continue to say it. And they are in fourth. So, yeah, and they're also not going to the playoffs. So, pretty much that sums up the New York Giants season this year. This game is in MetLife. Go and watch football. Shut the fuck up, bro. The Premier League. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. Why I'm not gonna watch the Premier League. Okay. Anyways, the Giants, they're at home at MetLife. They're playing the Minnesota Vikings. This is gonna be a good game. It's time for a change. How is it time for a change? What does that even mean, bro? All right. For this game, bro, I don't trust the Giants at all, bro. I really don't. If I'm being totally honest, the Giants are just horrible. Um, yeah, I don't trust the Giants at all. So I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings to win this game against the Giants. The Giants are horrible, and we all know the Giants are horrible. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I don't think the Giants are gonna win. This game probably isn't gonna be close. I could see the Vikings smoking the Giants because the Giants just don't have a good team. And yeah, that's just how it is. Do you know who Ronaldo is? Yes, I do know who Ronaldo is. Who doesn't know? Everybody knows Ronaldo. Ronaldo is like a famous footballer. Moving on, we have a NFC South rivalry between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Buccaneers. Last week, the Buccaneers went up against the Atlanta Falcons, and you know, Buccaneers, y'all sold. Y'all had y'all colorways on. Y'all were at home against the Falcons. So what football then? NFL, bro. NFL, dog. Talking about NFL, American football, not yeah, American football. What were you think? What do you think I was talking about? I was talking about American football, dog. I don't know what you talking about. But yeah, the Buccaneers. Y'all were at home against the y'all were at home against the Atlanta Falcons, and you guys absolutely let the Falcons come into your stadium and just beat y'all like that. Like that makes no sense at all, bro. But yeah, Buccaneers, I can't yeah, y'all some frauds, Buccaneers. Y'all really some frauds, man. Like, I don't understand how you let the Falcons beat you. The Falcons are not even going to the playoffs, and you guys let them beat y'all. Kind of shocking. Kind of shocking, in my opinion. And then the Carolina Panthers, my bad. You good. You good, Brody. You is good. And then the Panthers, y'all played the New Orleans Saints, and y'all lost to the Saints. How do you lose to a team that's not even going to the playoffs, and their name is the Saints? Like Panthers, I don't know what. Anyways, I'm gonna ignore that. Panthers. Panthers. Y'all lost to the Saints, dog. I don't understand how you lost to the Saints, bro. Like that makes no sense at all. The Saints are horrible. Like y'all gotta win. Y'all gotta win that game. So this game can go either way. Buccaneers, they just came off a loss. Panthers blocked that person. Oh no, I'll put them on timeout. They're going on timeout. Uh, Buccaneers and the Panthers. This could be a close game. Like I said, guys, anything can happen in a rivalry game. And with that, I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers to beat the Buccaneers because what the Buccaneers just did absolutely shocks me. I don't see the Buccaneers winning this game. I'm gonna go with the underdogs. I'm gonna go with the Panthers this week. I feel like the Panthers can get a win here against the Buccaneers. They can sneak one against the Buccaneers. So I'm gonna go with the Panthers to take down the Buccaneers. Even though I don't think Carolina's defense is pretty bad, but the Buccaneers, what they just did last week, losing to the Falcons, not great at all. Not great at all. But I'm gonna go with the underdogs. I have trust in the Panthers this week. If they do not win, then I probably won't be surprised. But I mean, I just want to go with the underdogs and see what happens. Because you never know. You never know what could happen. Maybe the Panthers might surprise us on Sunday. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go with the Panthers to win this game, even though my mind is telling me to pick Tampa Bay. But after what they did last week against the Falcons, yeah, I'm not picking the Buccaneers this week. Sorry. All right, moving on. We got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Tennessee Titans. Hello, Bella. How you doing? So we got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Chiefs, Kansas City. Hey, Kansas City, are y'all good? Y'all good, bro? Yeah. You guys are eliminated out the playoffs. Very, very surprising. Very surprising to hear that Kansas City is eliminated out of the postseason. They have not, they've been to the playoffs every time since 2014. When Patrick Mahomes came in the league, he made sure that the Chiefs got into the playoffs. You would never not see the Chiefs in the playoffs, but they will always be in the playoffs. But this year, things change. Kansas City will not be going to the playoffs this year. So, I know Chiefs fans are very mad about that, but this is what they get. This is what they get, bro, for talking all that mess, for bragging and boasting about all these Super Bowls. This is what they get, bro. And hopefully this is a valuable lesson to you Chiefs fans and all you bandwagon Chiefs fans to not bandwagon a team that won these Super Bowls. No. Stay with your team. Don't bandwagon and go on the Chiefs side because they're winning Super Bowls. No. No. Hope this is a lesson to all you Chiefs fans out there, especially all the bandwagon Chiefs fans, because I know everybody want to be a Chiefs fan, but now they probably might not want to be a Chiefs fan because of how bad they're losing, and also because they're not going to the playoffs. So, I bet y'all don't want to be Chiefs fans now because them boys not going to the playoffs. They're not going to go to the Super Bowl either. So, yeah, stay with y'all teams. Don't switch up on your team. One year you're gonna have a good year. One year you're gonna have a bad year. It's okay. You never switch up on your team. All right, you never switch up on your team. That's why I'm sticking with my Warriors. We're having a bad year, but guess what? I'm not switching up on my Warriors, man. I'm still a Warriors fan, gang. I'm not switching up on my team. Yo, like comments like that just doesn't make any sense, bro. Like why do y'all like no, bro. Like what kind of comment is that? Like, anyways, I don't know what that was. That was just a nasty comment, bro. Don't ask that again. Don't ask that comment again. What's wrong with y'all? But yeah, Kansas City versus the Titans last week. The Titans, they lost to the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm not gonna lie, the Titans are just a horrible team. They just suck so badly. They're not a good team. We clearly can see that the Titans are not a good team at all. They're not a good team. They absolutely suck. But this game is in Tennessee. Um, you know, this game is a no-brainer for me. Um, even though I hate this team, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. You know, The Titans are just horrible, bro. Nobody would pick the Titans over the Chiefs, dog. Nobody would do that, bro. If you pick the Titans to win over the Chiefs, you lost your mind. Okay, you lost your mind. There's no way the Titans are beating the Chiefs. Even though the Chiefs are ass as well, they're not that damn ass like the Titans are. So, gonna go with the Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs to win. Think Kansas City can come back after that loss and they can get a nice easy win against the Titans. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I don't see Kansas City losing. So yeah, let me yeah, the Chiefs are gonna win this game. So Kansas City, this will be a wake up call, and then y'all can get y'all get back win against the Titans. So yeah, but y'all still not going to the playoffs, so that win's not even gonna matter. All right, moving on. We got the Battle of the Birds. Battle of the Birds, guys. We got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Arizona Cardinals at State Farm Arena in Glendale, Arizona. So, the Falcons last week, you guys got a big win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that's in the playoffs right now. That's a great win, Falcons. That's a big time win against your rival. They're in the playoffs. That's a big time win right there, Falcons. Give yourselves a pat on the back, Falcon fans. Y'all actually did that. Y'all got a good win over the Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football. Watch that game live. You guys can go see my reaction to that. It's on my channel. That was a good game, though. Falcons played great, man. No, that wasn't Michael Penix. He's injured for the rest of the year. Kirk Cousins played great. The entire Falcons team played great. B. John Robinson played great. That entire Falcons team, they really did a great thing taking down the Buccaneers. A lot of people would think the Falcons would not take down the Buccaneers due to Buccaneers having Mike Evans and that boy Bucky Irving, and they got Devin White. Like, they got too many threats on that team. But the Falcons, they also got threats. Even though they're not, a team that should be taken seriously, they'll sneak up on you. If you slack off, they'll definitely sneak up on you. So don't underestimate the Falcons, man. And then the Cardinals. Last week the Cardinals took on the who did the Cardinals play? Cardinals played the Houston Texans, and they got smoked by the Texans 40-20, which I wasn't surprised with because the Texans just were a better team than the Cardinals. The Cardinals are just horrible. They're tanking for a good draft pick. So, I'm not even really surprised that the Cardinals lost to the Texans. Cardinals, y'all just not a good team. And also, y'all not going to the playoffs as well. So, that's a double oof. So, this game in my honest opinion, um, this game is a battle of the birds. Both of these teams are not in the playoffs, but it's gonna come down to who could play better with their offense. Will Jacoby Brissett make a statement against Kirk Cousins and Bijan, or will the Falcons respond and have like a lot to do with this game? And in my honest opinion, I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons to win this game. I don't see the Cardinals beating the Falcons because the Falcons got a very strong team. Even though they're not playoff material, I still think the Falcons, they're a very great team, just not playoff wise. But I think they can really get to this Cardinals offense, especially their defense. Their defense is pretty well. Their defense is like mid as fuck. But you know, when it comes time to it, I feel like the Falcons can really like make a statement when it comes down to it. So I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons to win this game over the Cardinals. And Cardinal fans, just pray on next year. So I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons. I don't see the Falcons losing. So give me the Falcons. Give me the Falcons. All right, moving on. We got another big boy game right here. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Denver Broncos. Now the Jaguars. Last week y'all boys played the no, not the Titans. Sorry, the Jaguars. Y'all boys played the New York Jets, and y'all beat them 48-20. Not gonna lie, Jaguars, that was a huge win. That was a huge win against the goddamn Jets. The Jets are a horrible team. I wasn't surprised that the Jaguars won. Jets are just horrible. Aaron Glenn needs to lose his job immediately. Jacksonville had the firepower with Trevor Lawrence and, of course, with Travis Etienne Jr. As long as those two were on the field, I didn't see Jacksonville losing. So shout out to Jacksonville for winning that game. Shout out to Travis Etienne Jr. and, of course, that boy Trevor Lawrence. My fantasy quarterback. And then the Denver Broncos. Last week, the Broncos played the Green Bay Packers at home at Mile High, and they beat them. The Broncos won against the Packers. The Packers had a very good defense with Micah Parsons and things like that. And, the Broncos, they said, we're not going to let this Packers defense stop us. We're going to go ahead and do our thing. Franklin was in the end zone. Bo Nix was throwing some great passes down the field to him, and Mims was doing his thing. That Broncos defense really came in clutch to sack Jordan Love and things like that. And Josh Jacobs barely got anywhere. So yeah, that Broncos defense really showed up in that Packers game, and that's how the Broncos won that game against the Packers. Now this game is also in Mile High. The Broncos are at home against the Jaguars, and like I said, man, when the Broncos are at home and they're going up against teams like the Jaguars, they're gonna do their thing, man. So in this case, I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos to win this game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just don't see the Broncos losing this, man, especially because they've been playing elite all year. They really can definitely make it to a Super Bowl this year if they continue their awesome gameplay. So I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos to continue this amazing record and streak. And yeah, man, Broncos, man, y'all been surprising me this year. And I feel like that's going to continue, man, as the weeks keep going by. So give me the Denver Broncos to get the win over the Jaguars this week. And Jaguars, yeah, just good luck. Good luck going up against the Broncos because this team ain't nothing to play with. All right, moving on. This is another big boy game right here. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Detroit Lions. Woo! This could be game of the week. I could see this being game of the week. I could 100% see this being the game of the week right here. So the Steelers, last week the Steelers came off a big win against the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. You know, so yeah, this game can really come down to who really plays great, whose defense can show up for sure. It's going to come down to the defenses. The defenses is really going to be a big factor in this game. Both of these teams are very good teams. So yeah, it's gonna come down to that. But in my honest opinion, I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions to win this game. I think the Lions are gonna absolutely. I mean, it's gonna be a close game. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna be a close game, but I just feel like the Lions have more to offer. I mean, the Steelers, they don't have a run defense, and yeah, I mean, if you don't have a run defense, that's just gonna affect you. It's just gonna affect you. And the Lions, they got two great runners named David Montgomery, which is Knuckles, and they got Jameer Gibbs, which is Sonic. So if you don't have a run defense, that's gonna be very, very bad. Because Jameer Gibbs and Knuckles, they're very great running backs, yo. So I actually don't know how the Steelers are gonna attack this. I don't know how they're gonna attack this, but we're gonna see what happens. But I think the Detroit Lions can get the win here. I really think the Lions have a great shot at winning this game, especially because they're at home, and also because I think Knuckles and Jameer Gibbs are gonna have elite games this week. So give me the Detroit Lions to win. Last week I went up against them. This week I'm gonna go with the Lions. I'm gonna go with the Lions to win over the Steelers this week. So yeah, give me the Lions. Moving on, we got the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Houston Texans. Now the Raiders. Sorry, Raiders. Last week y'all boys went up against my Philadelphia Eagles and y'all boys got y'all ass whoops, which wasn't surprised with. I mean, I told you Raiders. I mean, we should beat the Raiders. That's what should happen, right? Like if we would have lost to the Raiders, that would have been very, 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 very bad. So I'm glad that did not happen. I'm glad that we absolutely dominated the Raiders. We didn't get let them have a single point. Raiders didn't get a single point in that game, which was horrible. Y'all ain't have a single point in that game, Raiders, which is why y'all lost. Y'all need to do better. But I mean, season's almost over anyway. So Raider fans, y'all about to get ready to chill on the couch anyways. So get ready for that. And then the Houston Texans, y'all absolutely smoked the Arizona Cardinals last week, 20 to 40, 40 to 20. That was a monster game. That was a monster game for the Texans. Very very big win over the Cardinals. The Cardinals are not a good team. They feasted in that game and scored hella points, which they should. The Texans should beat the Cardinals. That's how it should have been, and I'm glad that's how it was. This game's not going to be close at all. The Raiders are a very horrible team, and in that case, I'm going to the Houston Texans to absolutely dominate the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders have enough to really beat the Texans, and also because the Raiders they just struggle in games anyways. So yeah, it's a no brainer for me. I'm gonna go with the Texans. I'm pretty sure everybody else would go with the Texans. If not, then they're really dumb. So, gonna go with the Texans to beat the Raiders. I don't trust this Raiders team anymore, because yeah, the Raiders just look horrible out there, especially with that Eagles game. They ain't score a single point. So, I'm gonna go with the Texans. This is gonna be a huge blowout. All right, moving on to Sunday Night Football. Ooh, we got a good game. Got a good game, boys. We got the New England Patriots taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Oh my goodness, this is about to be a good game. Now, the Patriots, last week, the Patriots went up against the Buffalo Bills. And of course, they lost to the Buffalo Bills, which, not gonna lie, that game could have gone either way. Patriots are a good team, very, very good team. Buffalo Bills also a good team, but questionable losses sometimes. Patriots, don't hang y'all heads too low about that game. The Buffalo Bills, they just came to play. Josh Allen, was the reigning MVP. Don't hang your heads too low, Patriots. You guys you're still a great team. Y'all actually are doing better than what I thought y'all would have played this year. Because I thought the Patriots were gonna be absolutely horrible this year, but they actually played better than what I expected. So kudos to the Patriots for playing better than what I would have thought they would have played. Because I thought the Patriots would have for sure been the worst team in the AFC East. So thank you, Patriots, for not choking. And then the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens, you guys are having a very, very weird year. Um, You're like this close to not making the playoffs if you keep losing games. So you better get your act together, Ravens, or you're not going to be able to go to the playoffs because you guys are like this close to not going. So you better get your act together, Ravens, or you're not going to the playoffs. And that's going to be another team that usually makes the playoffs will not be in the playoffs. That's going to be unusual as hell. Ravens last week went up against the Cincinnati Bengals, and y'all absolutely smoked the Bengals 24-0, which I wasn't surprised with because, well, actually, I actually was surprised. I was very surprised. Because I thought the I thought the Ravens were gonna lose to the Bengals. The Bengals are, sorry, the Bengals are like a off and on team. Sometimes they play good, sometimes they don't play good. And I thought they were gonna be like in that situation where they might get an upset win over the Ravens, to decrease the Ravens' chance of going to the playoffs. But that did not happen. So yeah, the Ravens went in there, handled business, and got the win. They got the revenge win after they lost the first time to the Bengals. So yeah, but yeah, great win by the Baltimore Ravens. This game's going to be a good game. It's going to be in M&T Bank Stadium on Sunday Night Football. So we are definitely going to be watching this game live, guys, on my YT. So stay tuned for that. Uh, with this game, I'm going to have to go with the New England Patriots to beat the Ravens. I just don't think the Ravens are going to be ready enough to beat the Patriots. The Patriots have a way better record, and their team's very uh, you know, well performed. And I don't think this Ravens team has enough energy to really dominate. But we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go with the Patriots though to win this game, of course, because I don't know what the hell the Ravens are doing. If they don't get their act together, they're not gonna go to the playoffs, and it's gonna be another team not going to the playoffs that we usually see in the playoffs. So Ravens, if y'all don't get y'all act together, you guys would not be going to the playoffs. But in this game, I'm gonna go with the New England Patriots to beat the Ravens to make the Patriots 12-3, and of course, still first in the AFC East. So that's my prediction with that. So I got Patriots winning, and then we got Monday Night Football. Woo! Another great game on Monday night. We got a big one right here. We got the San Francisco 49ers, aka the 40 Winers, aka the Gold Rush Gold Rush people. They are taking on the Indianapolis Colts, who just lost to the Seahawks last week. So, starting off with the Niners. Last week, the Niners went up against the Tennessee Titans, and they absolutely dominated the Titans. They should have. That was an easy game for the Niners to win. If they would have lost to the Titans, we would have had some conversations about the Niners losing to the Titans because the Titans are horrible. There's no way the Titans would have even beat San Francisco, especially because the 49ers were at home as well. So that's why I picked the Niners to win that game either way. Niners, they're winning games and they are injured to hell and back. So, you got to find ways. I don't know how the hell they're doing it, but they're doing it. They're finding ways to win games while they're injured. So you got to give them props. You got to give the 49ers props for this, man. And then the Indianapolis Colts, man, they just signed Philip Rivers as their new starting quarterback. So the Colts have a new quarterback with Philip Rivers, who used to play for the Chargers and, of course, other teams, the San Diego Chargers as well. Because Daniel Jones is out for the rest of the year due to injury. They are going to be they lost last week to the Seattle Seahawks. Um, the Colts, they played great in the first half of that game against the Seahawks, but I mean, yeah, you just gotta find ways to win games, and just gotta just be very very efficient. But yeah, Colts just was an unfortunate ending to how that game ended against the Seahawks. So yeah, man, very very tough loss for the Colts. They are going to be taking on the 49ers, and they are at home at Lucas Oil Stadium in downtown Indy. With this game, I'm going to have to go with the 49ers to win this game. Brock Purdy's back, and Brock Purdy's been playing very great for this team. And, as long as Brock Purdy finds CMC and they just keep getting that connection, I feel like San Francisco's not going to have any problems. But, of course, we also got to watch the Indianapolis Colts because, Philip Rivers, He's been playing at an elite level. It's his first week back in the NFL. Played very great against the Seahawks, and this week against the Niners, he has a chance to really like get the Colts back into shape, especially because the playoffs are coming. And the Colts have been losing a lot of games. Even though they were one of the greatest teams in the AFC South, but I mean, they've been starting to lose some games. So very questionable. But in my opinion, I'm going to go with the 49ers to win this game. I think the 49ers are going to have a great day in this game. I think, CMC is going to feast on this Colts defense. And if they do not win against the Colts, then that's going to be a problem. You should not. I mean, the Colts are a good team. Don't get me wrong, but you know, after the way they lost to after the way they lost to the Seattle Seahawks off of field goals, they were just kicking field goals all day. And you cannot just win games off of field goals, even though sometimes you can, but not all the time. And 49ers are not going to let the Colts win off of field goals. So I'm going to go with the Niners to win this game on Monday Night Football, and we will be watching this game live as well. So mark your calendars. But anyways, guys, that is it for the Week 16 slate of games. That's all I got for the Week 16 slate. I hope you guys enjoyed my predictions. Let me know you guys' thoughts and predictions on who y'all think's gonna win for Week 16. And yeah, man, as always, keep your stick on the ice.